Hey, fabulous lawyers, how are you? Claudia here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 3 best business models for law firms that I am seeing at the moment. So the reason I wanted to record this video today, the reason why this topic is close to my heart at the moment, is that I've been talking to a lot of law firm owners who feel very unhappy with their law firms, with their business. And I believe that there is nothing more important to having a law firm or a business that you enjoy and that brings you the profit and the freedom that you want. There's nothing more important to getting those things than getting the right business model for your law firm. So I was just calculating it before. I realized I've been in business for 13 years now. Now, that doesn't make me a veteran or a pro by any means, but what I realized was that I wish that somebody had told me, 13 years ago, that the business model that you choose for your law firm or for your business is really the number one question, or the number one decision that you need to make to have everything else align and fall in place, and to build a business that makes you happy and that feels good and is fun, as well as being profitable and giving you the time and the freedom that you want as well. Now, the term business model is sort of a very sort of businessy term, I suppose, but really what it means is the way that your law firm makes money. So your business model, your law firm's business model, is the way that your law firm makes profit. So, and a really good way to choose your business model, or to think about it, is to ask yourself the question: are you building your law firm around your life, or are you building your life around your law firm? And there's no right or wrong answer to that question. You do you when it comes to everything. But the way that you answer that question will determine what business model is best for you. And when I ask law firm owners, are you building your life around your law firm or your law firm around your life? More often than not, the person that I'm speaking to won't really know how to answer the question because they're not sure. They've never really thought about that before. And they will think, what does a good law firm owner say in response to that question? And there's no, like I said, there's no right or wrong. This completely depends on you and your values and the stage of life that you're at and what you've got going on and what's important to you. So it's a very personal question with a very personal answer, and it requires some thought. But often we don't stop and give ourselves the time to think about it, and to ask ourselves these very important questions. And like I said, there's no right or wrong. But what I'm seeing at the moment is that, depending on people's answers to those questions, there are really 3 key business models that I'm seeing law firm owners using to run their businesses in a way that is really aligned with their values and brings them joy and gets them the money and the profit that they want. And that's different for everybody as well. It gives them the freedom of location and the freedom of time that they want. And of course, that's different for everybody as well. And so I'm going to run you through these 3 different business models. I'm actually going to sort of give you quite a sort of a complete breakdown of what each one looks like. But as I go through them, remember that the 3 business models, they're all different, and no one business model is better than the other. It's funny, if you'd asked me that a couple of years ago, I thought that the only way to be was to be, an ambitious legal entrepreneur who would grow and scale their law firm or grow and scale their business at whatever the cost. And that meant, aggressively growing revenue. It meant having a big team, um, and, running lots of ads, doing lots of marketing stuff. And I guess that I've evolved and life has changed for me. And now I don't agree with that. I think that, more doesn't mean better. I think that understanding what it is that's important to you, and really understanding what that means and being really true to yourself and building, a business around that supports that, that's the better choice rather than aggressively, growing and scaling and building more and building bigger. The better option is to build something that works for you and fits your life. And I think that, you know, I think that is what brings us joy, and that's the most important thing. So my views on this have changed, and I just want to say that because if you've been watching stuff of mine from a couple of years ago, my view has changed. So I just want to make that clear. Anyway, you can see my screen here. I'm just going to make myself a bit smaller and move myself to the side. So I've called this training the 100K per month profit law firm model. I'm going to do a complete breakdown. And like I said, there's three business models here, or three law firm business models that I'm seeing my law firm owner clients use. And they are all different types of law firms, different types of law firm owners with different ambitions, and what works for them is really bringing them a lot of joy, and it's really fantastic to see. So I want to share that with you. And like I said, each model is different, and there is no one model that's better than the other. So let me start. So model one, I planned on coming up with some cool names for these, but as you can see, I didn't get very far. But model one is a law firm that makes $10,000 to $20,000 per month profit. Let me just make this a bit bigger. Hang on a sec. Right. Okay, here we go. You should be able to see this a bit better now. Okay, so model one, like I said, $10,000 to $20,000 profit per month. So typically, the firms that I'm seeing with this business model, they're doing revenue of $15,000 to $30,000 revenue per month. They have one offer, so they have one legal service that they deliver to their ideal clients again and again, okay? And I call it a signature service. And a signature service is something I talk about quite a lot. Basically, a signature legal service is a legal service with a very defined scope. It's for a very defined ideal client type. It's a type of legal service that your ideal clients really want and need. It's rooted in your strengths as the law firm owner or as the lawyer, and it is easy to market, sell, and deliver to your ideal clients. Now, firms in using Model 1, so they're doing about 10 to 15 hours per week. So typically the types of law firm owners that I'm seeing with this sort of a business model have young families, so they want to be on reduced hours so that they can spend time with their families. The other types of law firm owners that I'm seeing with this type of business model are sort of semi-retired. They're getting towards the end of their careers, and they are still loving it, but just want to work less. but still make good money. The other types of law firm owners that I'm seeing with this type of business model are people who've got sort of outside interests, whether they are benevolent or charitable. They might be quite heavily involved into sport or some other type of hobby where they are, spending a lot of their time. They are serving 4 to 6 ideal clients per month. And generally, the average fee is $2,000 to $5,000 per client. So I think it's really important that when we're looking at these business models, that the law firm owners who are doing really well with these and are really enjoying their businesses, they have found a sort of a clientele or an ideal client who really values their services and are willing to pay, a reasonable amount for the legal service that the lawyer is offering. And you may be thinking, well, so perhaps you do conveyancing and you charge sort of $1,000 to $1,500 typically per conveyancing file. That's fine if you're under this, under sort of the 2,000 to 5,000. It just means that you'll need to do a few more here. A few more, you'll need to help a few more clients per month. And these don't necessarily have to be new clients. They can be, current clients, existing clients, repeat clients. In terms of your team, so you're really acting as a sole practitioner here. So it'll be you, and perhaps you've got an assistant, so an executive assistant, or quite often the law firm owners that I'm seeing with this model have a virtual assistant, and that working relationship, even though remote is going very well, and the virtual assistant can often help with the legal work as well as with putting in place processes, the admin and the marketing work as well. In terms of the marketing that these types of law firms are doing, so it's pretty straightforward. They rely a lot on referrals. So often the law firm owner will have sort of 1 or 2 or 3 key referrers, as well as a bunch of, old or existing or current clients referring clients as well. They'll also be doing a bit of content marketing. Okay, so typically what I see is the law firm owner doing 1 piece of content per month. Sometimes, they can be doing 1 piece of content per week, and usually that's a blog or a video. I'm seeing an increasing number of law firm owners doing video because, YouTube is generally, people's videos are performing really well on YouTube at the moment. And then in terms of how they're getting that blog or that video in front of their target audience of ideal clients, is they're using one channel. So a channel can be like email marketing. So, sending an email with the video to their mailing list, or posting it on Facebook, or posting it on LinkedIn, or posting it on Instagram, wherever it is that they can get their content in front of their ideal client. But it's very simple. It's creating 1 piece of content and putting it out in one place for their client to be able to see it, their ideal client. And typically no ads with business model 1. In terms of sales, pretty straightforward. There'll be an initial consultation. Some law firm owners require the client to pay for that. Some do not. Some do a free consult. And often a consult at this business model level is not required because the client will be coming from a referrer, and the client is already sort of ready to go ahead and instruct or engage the law firm owner. In terms of what the law firm owner is doing with their time and their focus with business model 1, so a lot of their time is focused on client work, because they are the only lawyer, so they have to be. And then other than that, they do still spend a bit of time creating efficient systems and automation, so that the 10 to 15 hours that they are spending at work, that they are limited with, they are getting through efficiently as much of that work as possible to make sure that everything can be done within that sort of 10 to 15 hours. They also spend a bit of time creating marketing content, so writing the blog post or creating the video, and then they'll have usually 1 to 3 sort of key referral relationships in place. So just making sure that those referrers are happy and that their clients are happy and that everybody's getting what they need there. So that is business model 1. I'll scroll down now to business model 2. So business model 2 here is, let me just make myself a little bit smaller just so we can. So business model 2 is a law firm owner that is making $20,000 to $40,000 per month in profit. Now, their revenue is typically $30,000 to $60,000 per month. And in terms of what the legal services are that their firm is offering, so they'll have 1 to 3 of those signature services for their ideal clients, and they will also have clear cross-sell. So an example of one of the most basic examples of a cross-sell is somebody who comes to you for conveyancing, and when they come to you because they're buying their house, you say to them, hey, we'll do your will at the same time, and they say, yes, sure. So you've sort of cross-sold them another service while they're there buying a different service from you. So and that makes a lot of sense, because if you've got a client there who's about to spend $1,500 with you, and then you get them to buy something else from you at the same time, and that increases to $2,000, then you've significantly increased your revenue. And if you do that with nearly every client that comes in, then you're increasing the amount of revenue per client. So you're getting your average fee up. So in terms of hours, typically working a 4-day week. In terms of number of clients, working with 15 ideal clients per month with that same average fee of $2,000 to $5,000 in fee revenue per client per month. Your team, it'll be you and 3 team members, and I mean that the makeup of that team is sort of different for each firm, but just as sort of a typical look. So there'll be you as the law firm owner, then there'll be another lawyer, there'll be an assistant and a paralegal or a legal executive. In terms of your marketing, so it's still quite straightforward. You'll be getting your referrals, you'll be doing your content marketing of at least 1 piece of content per month, but you'll be putting it out on 2 different channels. So you will have tested one that will have gone well, and you would have added another one, so that you're getting your content out in front of more of your ideal clients. And possibly at this stage, you'll be running some simple ads as well. And by simple ads, I mean retargeting ads, which means that you're only putting ads in front of people who are warm, who sort of already know who you are. They may have clicked on something of yours before. They might have been to your website. They might be on your mailing list. They might follow your Facebook page, and so on. In terms of sales, your sales process will be much the same. It'll be doing an initial consultation, whether it's free or whether it's paid. Or you may skip the initial consultation where one of your referrers has referred somebody to you and they're just ready to go. In terms of your focus, so you will still be doing some client work because you're one of the main legal service providers in the firm, but you'll also be focused on getting your system set up for marketing so that it's not always you having to do it, and also getting your systems and automation set up for your client services so that you're able to keep your time working in and on the business down to 4 days a week. It'll be really important. You'll still be, so like I said, you'll still be doing some client work. You'll be spending some time training the team. So this business model is really for law firm owners who want, they want they still want a decent 6-figure income while still having full control over their schedule, over their calendar. And often these law firm owners, they like to spend some of their time, training and mentoring team members. That's meaningful work to them. Often they don't want a big team, but they do like working with a small, really talented, sort of close-knit team. And then the next model 3, Let me just make this a bit smaller so it all fits on one page. Yeah, so this is model 3. So this is a law firm owner who is making $40,000 to $100,000 per month in profit. So this is the more ambitious law firm owner. This is a law firm owner who doesn't shy away from working with the bigger team. They're quite happy with that. And often they are building a law firm that they can eventually sell if they want to. What always interests me about law firm owners who are building a law firm to sell is that they get it to the point where they could sell it if they wanted to. Like, it's all geared up, it's all set up and structured right, and it's got all the right systems and processes in place to sell it. But because they've set it up in such a way that provides them with a lot of freedom as well as a lot of profit, they then don't want to sell it. So I always find that quite interesting. So business model 3 here is that has revenue of $60,000 to $200,000 per month, typically. In terms of what the law firm's offering, so it offers a range of signature services for clearly defined target markets with clear cross sells. So we talked about that before. That's like, selling estate planning to somebody who's coming to you for conveyancing, and also clear upsells. So that's where you have different tiers of service. So you might have your standard service, and then there might be a more premium service, which includes, some more premium client service. Perhaps they can contact you after hours. There's various things. I won't get into that in this particular video, but there are ways that you can tier your services so that some people who want a more no frills version can go for the standard, and people who want more personalized service can go for the premium. And then something that's really important if you're looking to sell your law firm one day is to find subscription opportunities where you can get clients to give you repeat work on a monthly or an annual basis. And when it comes to selling your firm, a potential purchaser of your law firm will really love to see this sort of thing where there's that repeat work built into your business model. Typically, a law firm owner with this sort of a business model will work 4 to 5 days per week, but there will need to be consistent work on the systems of the business, of the law firm, and consistent work on the schedule of the law firm owner to make sure that it stays to this, because it will blow out if it's not closely watched. In terms of clients, so this sort of a business this sort of a law firm would need 20 to 40 or more ideal clients per month at an average fee of $2,000 to $5,000 per client. In terms of the team, it would be you and at least 6 or more team members, possibly quite a few more. Your marketing starts to become more sophisticated, so you'll have your referrers, and often they will be run a bit more sort of professionally. You'll have multi-channel acquisition with ads in a number of different places, like Google Ads, for example, and then you'll have substantial content marketing. So you'll be putting out regular content in different places to ensure that you're consistently getting valuable content in front of your ideal clients. Your sales process probably won't change too much. It'll be that initial consultation, whether free or paid. In terms of your focus as the law firm owner, so building a law firm you can eventually sell is probably going to be one of your main focuses. And then you'll be focusing on hiring, training, and mentoring the team. So that whole recruitment and onboarding process, making sure that you're building this great culture full of incredible people that are really inspired and motivated by your firm's mission and vision and values, starts to become really important with this sort of a business model. And really focusing on improving systems and automation for marketing and client work. And it's really important at this level as well, when you are putting in automation and constantly improving it is making sure that it's being done in a personalized way. So systems and automation in a personalized way at this sort of level becomes really, really important. So in terms of these business models and which one is right for you, because you might look at these and you might say, well, I'm at model 2, and that's cool, but do you want to be at model 2? Like, is that what's aligned with your purpose and your values and what you want? And there's certain questions that you can ask yourself to figure that out, like the one I mentioned before. Are you building a law firm that fits around your life, or are you building a life that fits around your law firm? And there's a number of other questions that you can ask yourself. And I'm about to record another video after this one where I'm going to delve more into those questions. But just to give you a bit of an indication of what those questions are, do you want to do you have things outside of work that you want to be spending more time on? Like, do you want to reduce the hours at your firm? Do you have a young family, or do you have outside interests that you want to be spending more time on? Do you want to build a law firm that you can sell? Do you want to work with a team, or do you want to work with yourself? By yourself? And if you do want to work with a team, do you want to work with a small team or a bigger team? Do you want to, what sort of ideal clients do you want to work with? Is another very important question. Another important question is thinking about freedom. And, do you want location freedom? Do you want to be able to sort of pack up the firm for a few months a year and just go from summer to summer? All these sorts of questions become really important, and understanding how you feel about them and what your answers are really will help you figure out what sort of business model you want. Because perhaps you think you're ambitious and you want to build this 7-figure law firm, sort of like I did. But actually, you've got a young family, and spending time with them for the next few years and minimal time in your law firm is what's important to you right now, which is fine. In which case, you wouldn't go for business model 3. You would go for law firm business model 1 at the moment. And so just understanding that will help you to really figure out, what sort of law firm business model you want, and therefore what to focus on right now. And it can change down the track. But if you focus on what it is that you want and what it is that you're working towards, you're going to feel much more in alignment with the work that you're doing and the business that you're building. And you're going to feel happier and a lot more joy and aligned with the business that you are building. Anyway, fabulous lawyers, I hope that this was helpful. I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.